dog in the street.
What's up, everyone? Welcome to Twin City Sports Talk. Happy Saturday, one day before the Super Bowl. And we'll have a little episode Sunday morning, Super Bowl predictions, Seahawks Patriots. Should be a fun one. I'm really excited to watch it. I hope everyone else is too, because I think it'll be better than our Super Bowl we got last year between the Chiefs and Eagles. That was not a fun watch at all. Today, we're going to be going through the Twins' 26-man roster prediction. Basically, we're going to do one here before spring training because as of right now, it is 5 days until pitchers and catchers report. And so that's going to be fun right there. Have more content for the Twins coming out soon. And then on the 16th of February, that's when the whole team reports to Fort Myers, start spring training. And then you got games starting like the 23rd, I think, 23rd, somewhere around there in those couple days. And then obviously the World Baseball Classic is happening a lot in March there. So a lot of baseball coming. We get baseball this month, so that's really exciting for us baseball fans out there. But yeah, today we're going to be doing our first 26-man roster prediction and our first opening day lineup prediction in this. We're going to do one kind of middle of spring training after we see what kind of players are making some moves, if players are coming into spring training hot, because there's a few. This Twins team's nothing too special. There's a few spots where guys could win a few positions over the others. And honestly, there's a bunch of them, like left field with Austin Martin, Alan Roden. There's a few guys, Trevor Larnach, not great defensively, but he'll be in the slot there too. But either way, we're going to do one in the middle. And then at the end, right before opening day, kind of before the 26-man roster really gets released, probably like with like 2 games left of spring training. That's how we kind of can figure that out. But either way, we're going to start out with all the pitchers here. First off, I'm going to go with my 5 starters. These are my 5 guys that are going to be in the rotation to start the year, which here's the issue with the Twins right now. I would be a huge supporter if the Twins would flip one of these starting arms that they have in this kind of extended major league ready or like major league ready staff, because if I'm just going to name all of them, you have Pablo, you have Ryan, Ober, Simeon Woods, Richardson, Taj Bradley, but then you also have Zebby, Mick Abel, Festa, and yeah, like I mentioned, Bradley too. That's like nine guys who have all really seen major league time here and are all really going to stick in the starting role. And not a lot of these guys are going to get a lot of time this year. There'll be injuries, so they'll all get some time eventually. But I would love if the Twins would flip a Simeon, a Taj Bradley, maybe even a Festa to a team for another bat, because you're wasting talent at this point. Mick Abel, you got back in the Joan Duran trade. And it's more of a case of wasting talent in the sense of you have so many guys here and so many guys for the future. You have also Kendry Rojas, who's going to be in AAA this year. Andrew Morris had a bad year last year, but he's been reliable in the Twins system, and more guys coming up from there. So ton of guys where at this point, I would love to trade one, get a bat, because if the Twins want to contend, the lineup might need that little push off the bench, just that extra bat, because they're kind of just like an extra bat away from being a pretty good lineup. I'm not going to say good or great, pretty good. Either way, my 5 starters on the starting staff going into this year. This may shock some people, I get it, like the 4th and 5th one, but Pablo is still my ace. Being injured last year, he pitched well in the games he did have last year. Either way, Pablo is your captain. He's one of your team leaders. He's going to lead them into the promised land if they can get there. He will be the number 1 asset there. It's either him or Joe Ryan, but those are obviously my 1 and 2. In this exercise, Ryan would be my 2, so Pablo would be opening day starter. But I have a feeling this year Ryan could get that opening day start that he's kind of been seeking for the past few years. But then in the 3, Bailey Ober, prone and ready for a big bounce back year after his ERA was inflated above 5. So not good from Bailey, bad year, but this year could be something special from him cooking. And then here's where we get a little controversial. So number 4, I got Simeon Woods Richardson. Okay. So this obviously kicks out like the idea of having two of the more younger guys, because Simeon, he's been in the league for 2 full years now, basically, shown some promise. I'm not a huge Simeon fan. I just think he's earned his spot based off the stats, based off of him doing the good stuff well enough, doing his job and getting it done, really. He's just been a great job at kind of getting in there, getting the job. He's going to let up a few runs every now and then, but he's not going to let it get too out of hand. He needs to fix the walks a little bit, but that would be the biggest thing. If he can fix the walks, he'll be a great number 4 this year for the Twins. But here's the most controversial one. Number 5, I'm keeping Taj Bradley in the starting staff here. And obviously, Zebby kind of having a way bigger role last year, struggled at times. I think it could very much benefit Zebby into more of a bullpen role this year and maybe make a few spot starts or just be a full-time starter in AAA and get called up when there are inevitably injuries that happen. But Taj Bradley acquired him in the Griffin Jax deal. So you kind of have to use him. Griffin Jax being one of the best relievers in the game. You get Taj Bradley back in a 1-for-1 swap. You kind of got to use him in your staff. I think he will be the 5th one going in. And honestly, right now, I think the starting staff is looking very nice, very strong. It easily is top 10 in the MLB, and I think could be better than that. But either way, there's your top 5. There's your 5 starting staff right there, and I'm excited for it. But I will say, guys that missed out on it, obviously, Zebby, like I mentioned. David Festa is also another one. Mick Abel, who we got back in the Duran trade, he also misses out on that, which he never really had a shot. But Zebby and Festa, those would be the controversial ones, Zebby. And here's the thing. I'm a big Zebby fan. I see a lot of Corbin Burns with his windup, with how he throws the ball, that hard cutter Zebby has. It's a lot of Corbin Burns-like stuff. I think he has upside like Corbin Burns. I'm excited for Zebby in the future, but I think this year it's going to be more of a fringe year. And hopefully next year and the year, hopefully this year he can improve enough to earn more of a spot. But either way, we're going to move on to the bullpen now. So this is where it gets tough. It gets tough to make a list. And I'll just go through it real quick. So the first one is Travis Adams, which I don't know if people saw on Twins Live or whatever, that YouTube video that they do with a few players and coaches. Jeremy Zoll, our new kind of head of baseball operations here, he said Travis Adams and Marco Raya are going to be full-time bullpen guys now. They will not be starters. They've both been starters throughout the system. Travis Adams already had some bullpen experience in the second half of last year. Didn't do too well. The ERA was inflated. He got hit around quite a bit. But coming in this year, looking to beat on that opening day roster, and I have him there. And there is some intriguing names behind him, but for right now, Travis Adams coming up in that kind of first, or like I have him ranked as like the worst bullpen pitcher here. And then the next one, John Klein. So the 23-year-old, he's been in the Twin systems for I think 3 years now. Never really been too bad with getting hit around. He has strikeout potential. And I think he would be a great arm, but he is young. I think this is probably the biggest stretch here in the bullpen department. Because to be honest, like being 23 years old, unless you're a top tier prospect, it's going to be a little bit of a, especially for pitchers, it's going to be a little bit of a longer run. You got to prove yourself over a long period of time. But the Twins purposely put him on the 40-man roster to protect him from the Rule 5 draft a month and a half ago or whatever. But John Klein, that's your second reliever, so I'm happy with that. Another hard-throwing righty. And then this one, a guy we just picked up a few days ago, Jackson Kowar from the Mariners. This is another really weak one. He's been hit around just a bunch. He's a vet, so that's a good thing. But ERA inflated, WHIP it was like a 1.5 or 1.6, so way above average, or like way below average, I guess. Either way, Austin Coward, it's not a needle mover at all, but I will say from this point on, I actually really like the bullpen. I like John Klein for the future, maybe not this year as much. He'll have his struggles, just like everyone does. But from Cowher on, well, Cowher excluded, but these next 5 guys I will like, because if people have noticed now, I said next 5 guys. I've already given 3 in the bullpen. I'm keeping 13 pitchers on this team because honestly, the lineup, there's just not enough guys to have an extra guy. I'd rather have an extra pitcher. So in this first 26-man roster prediction, there will be 13 pitchers held on the Twins here. Because also I think they just need options in the bullpen. People are going to be used. Some of these starters don't go too late into games. I mean, Bradley and Sim, they don't go late. I don't know how Derek Shelton really handles that, if he lets pitchers go, kind of, because Rocco would never let pitchers go more than 90, 95 pitches, even if they got there. Either way, next one, Eric Orzi, which we traded with the Rays earlier this offseason. That was like the first move we've made this offseason. Eric Orzi, just a veteran guy, kind of a 3.5 ERA, nothing special there, but he's your first, like, just average guy, good to have in the bullpen, and he has his job set right now. He will be on that 26-man roster. But then the next one, the guy who was hurt for basically the entire first year of his Twins career, Justin Topa, showed a little bit last year. Another veteran guy. He had a great year with the Mariners. That's why he was kind of the main piece with Gabriel Gonzalez in the Jorge Polanco trade back in 2024. So either way, Justin Topa back for another season. Good to have him back. I mean, he's not the most flashy pitcher out there. He's not going to overpower guys, but good control. He forces a lot of ground balls, and it's going to be good to have him with this bullpen right now. And I will say, the Twins are definitely in tune to get another right-handed arm here, like this offseason, whether that be a starting pitcher or most likely being a reliever. There's definitely some names still out there. Scott Barlow, Michael Kopech, Jose Leclerc. There's guys out there for the bullpen and right-handed pitchers, because apparently from Doogie Wolfson from KARE 11, he is stating that the Twins have apparently been in on all of the pitchers in free agency here. So, I mean, that's a good report to hear for us Twins fans. I mean, even the higher paid starters, apparently the Twins are in on. Apparently they were in on Framber Valdez. So, good to hear, but I don't know how much of that I actually believe. Either way, Twins go sign another right-handed bullpen arm, because if I could kick out Jackson Kowar, I would do that in a heartbeat. Either way, next one, Cody Funderburk. Funderburk ended last year in that second half when there just really wasn't much pressure there. After the fire sale, it's like you're playing baseball, you're trying to have fun, but there was no pressure with it. So Funderburk was untouchable, had a sub-2 ERA. I think it was like a 1.4. So he was dominant, very dominant. And this year, not many expectations. I hope he can carry that over. If he can keep his ERA below 3, that would be a huge win. But even if it's like a 3.5 ERA, just don't let these games slip away when you come into the game, because now you're going to be kind of lifted into a higher leverage situation here with the bullpen being very shredded from the fire sale there. So keep up the good work, Cody. It's been a long road with you. It's been a long, strenuous couple of years, but hey, you won your job. You got the job for this year. Don't fail for us here. Then our last two guys, obviously the two most reliable on this bullpen. And you can kind of flip between these guys for who will be the closer of the team. I have my opinion for this 26-man roster prediction, but the next one is the setup man, Cole Sands, our most reliable righty on the staff right now, or in the bullpen. Cole Sands, he is a great splitter, fastball, curve/slider, slur, whatever you want to call his breaking away pitch from righties. But either way, Cole Sands, great arm. It's fun to have him on the team still. I mean, he's like the one stray that didn't really get traded there at the fire sale. Good to keep him around. He's going to have a big role this year, so prove yourself again. But I have all faith in Cole, so I'm excited to see him pitch this year. It should be fun. But that leaves one more spot for my closer, which is lefty piece, if people remember that nickname, Taylor Rogers. I'm excited to have Taylor Rogers back. I really am. It was a great move by Falvey before he kind of stepped down here. $2 million given to Rogers. So, or maybe it was $1 million. I forget. It was $1 or $2 million, but basically nothing. And he's been still really solid. He was obviously shut down in 2019, kind of in his prime there on the Twins. Went away for 5 years, and now he's back. And he never really had like a bad year. He's always been reliable, kind of on the Padres. I forget all the teams he's been on, but he's been moving around a little bit, him and his brother. But either way, Taylor back in Minnesota. I'm excited. I got to meet him back in 2019 at I forget where I was, but got to meet him, and he's a cool dude either way. I'm excited to have him back in a Twins jersey. So it should be a lot of fun. It should be a lot of fun. But to close it out, the 13 pitchers on our 26-man roster: Pablo, Ryan, Ober, Simeon, and then Bradley. There's your starting five. And then John Klein, Adams, Cower, Orzi, Topa, Funderburk, Sands, and Rogers. Okay. And yeah, people, you can flame me for not having more of a long reliever like Zebby or Festa or Abel in this bullpen. But here's the thing. Me knowing this Twins organization for my whole life, I know and I have a very good feeling that if these guys don't get a spot on the starting five there, I know what will happen. They will just be starting in AAA, getting starting like spots. They'll be starting for the Saints there and proving themselves. Once someone gets injured, the pitcher between Zebby, Festa, and Abel, who's doing best, they're gonna get called up. So it's just as simple as that. I honestly, like, this is something maybe I should say for a hot take, but the Twins will, in my opinion, I think they're going to see this depth they have in spring training, because obviously spring training, you're going to get starts from Abel, Zebby, and all, like, everyone. You're going to get starts from everyone, especially with Ryan and Pablo going to the World Baseball Classic for like a month. You're going to have starts from all of them. I think the Twins are going to see that they need to trade one of these depth starters for a bat, and I think that would really help out with the team. And speaking of bats, let's get to the lineup here, and let's get to our position players on the 26-man roster to start. We're going to start with the catchers. I think this is pretty obvious here. It's Jeffers and Caratini. Ryan Jeffers, Victor Caratini. Caratini signed for $7 million this offseason. Hit 250 last year, switch hitting catcher. Good defense on him, so very underrated signing, in my opinion. Better bat than Christian Vasquez ever was for the Twins. But then Ryan Jeffers coming into his prime here. He's been great for the past couple of years. Defense has been improving basically every year here. So those are your two catchers. And again, we kept 13 pitchers, so we're looking for 13 position players here. Infield time. Your starting first baseman is Josh Bell. Signed him this offseason. That was his job, and it will be his job going in. So simple enough there. Second base, this guy earned it. Luke Keeschall. Nothing to say about Luke. You just avoid the sophomore slump. Keep everything going that you were attacking last year, putting bat to ball, no matter if it's a hit or if you're getting into outs, but at least you're not striking out. You don't want this to end up in an Edward Julian type situation. Just swing the bat. Pitchers have seen film on you now, Luke, but you have only played in 49, 52 games, somewhere around there, but not enough to consider. I think Luke will go into this year still considered a rookie, but I am a huge Luke Keeschall fan. I wasn't this way about Edward Julian. Keeschall can hit the ball anywhere, any part of the park, and he puts bat to ball. The defense, you got to improve that. I hope he's been working on that this offseason, but yeah, Keeschall, if the defense doesn't improve, he will be a DH in the future because the defense is bad. But then this is a utility guy. So Cody Clemens will be on the 26-man roster. Cody did a lot for this team last year, and kind of a year. I mean, he really thrived when he got called up for the first time in like May or whatever. I think he hit around 20 home runs. I think 19, if I'm completely sure. But he's not going to be starting on opening day here. But he's a guy. He can play the outfield. He can play anywhere in the infield, really. He's played first base last year. He played third and second base. I don't think he played shortstop because that would be weird. But either way, Cody Clemens, welcome to the 26-man roster opening day. And then we're going to get to our shortstop. Our shortstop going in is Brooks Lee. We just talked about him yesterday or the day before. Brooks Lee, one of the biggest things going into the season for the Twins is, Brooks, you got to make a jump at the plate. That's my biggest thing here. You have to put the bat on ball instead of a lot of strikeouts Brooks suffered. He wouldn't take a lot of walks. He's also a lot of weak contact the past year and a half. So Brooks, bring the average up to about 250, hopefully 260. I'm going to be happy with it, but the defense never wavers. That's why I'm so happy with that. But your starting shortstop this year, Brooks Lee, he also doesn't have to be behind Carlos Correa anymore. Brooks is not in a spot where he has to flip between third base, second base, be more of a utility man. He is your starting shortstop. That should take some stress off of him. And that should be kind of a thing where now you can focus solely on your hitting in this offseason because you know that's your position. Short is your position. So Brooks Lee, let's take a step this year, buddy. All right, your third base franchise guy, just like Byron Buxton, Royce Lewis. Again, this is the same thing. Royce, we need you back to your 2023 form, hitting home runs, putting bat the ball. The defense, again, really good. That left side of the infield, gross. I mean, really, really nice. But yeah, simply Royce. Let's get back to the swagger. Let's get back to the hitting home runs, hitting grand slams every time the bases are juiced for you. Either way, Royce, you're your starting third baseman. I mean, I can't say that. Maybe he gets injured in spring training. Royce, if you're watching, I'm not crapping on the injuries. I hate it. It sucks. I'm sorry. I just pray, and I pray so much for health for you. But it's just something you have to joke about right now because it sucks. Either way, let's get to our outfield. We have 5 spots left, so 5 outfielders we're adding to the roster. I'll get the obvious ones out of the way. Byron Buxton, literally one of the best players in the MLB, and I'll stand by that. I think anyone could agree with that. Byron Buxton, I'm not going to talk about it. He's your starting center fielder. Matt Wallner will be the Twins starting center fielder and right. Yes, he has a cannon of an arm, but Matt Wallner is slow. The defense can be hard to watch sometimes with Wallner, but he can make a big play with his big arm. And here's the thing with Wallner. I think Jack said this a few days ago, but this is a make or break year. This is where like we determine are you in the Twins' future, like 100%, because if you can't hit the ball this year, Matt, it's going to look rough for you. You're going to be in a spot where you're going to be playing half the games and you're going to be a trade candidate for a bag of chips. Because if you don't start getting it together and hitting 35 home runs while hitting at least, I just want 240 out of the guy. Anytime he hits the ball, it's going to be 110 miles per hour off the bat. So that's my bottom line here. Just hit 240. And if you hit 240, I think I can guarantee 30 of those bat to balls will be home runs. At least, if you play a full season. And then Trevor Larnach will be on the roster in this exercise. I have him as DH. So if people are wondering about that left field battle going in, there's still 2 guys. I'll say those names right now. Austin Martin, Alan Rodin. Okay. Kind of the 2 guys that might be fighting for that left field spot. And the guy that I have winning that battle is Austin Martin. So Austin Martin will be starting on opening day in left field there. Which honestly, I'll get to my lineup in a second, but the lineup, if you have health for a little bit, or if the lineup can stay generally healthy, I like the lineup. I actually do. It's not as bad as this team has been like pushed, or the whole like public has pushed the Twins into like this joke of a franchise, but the lineup is still fine. Okay. It's not anything great, but it's enough to put runs on the board, in my opinion. It really is. Austin Martin wins left field job. Austin hit like 282 in his time last year. At the end of the year, he was hot. Let's keep that fire going into this season. So Austin Martin, good job. And then Alan Rodin and then Larnach are your 2 defensive subs for the outfield here. But just another guy there. Oh, and I forgot to mention, Eric Wagaman is also making the 26-man roster for the infield, that third baseman, first baseman type guy. For if Josh Bell needs an off day, or if you just don't want to deal with Josh Bell's defense. So Eric Wegman also is also the other utility guy there. Either way, we are going to get to our lineup now because everyone wants to see that. Everyone wants to see, what does this team look like? When we're at Target Field for opening day, what is this team going to look like when they announce the lineup? Which, again, I am not ashamed of this right now. I am okay with this lineup. And with me, I really like going kind of lefty-righty. I don't want to stack a bunch of righties in one spot. I don't want to stack 4 lefties in a row. So I kind of stack this in a way where it's kind of mixed, but I think this is pretty realistic, and I think this is a way that Shelton could go with this. So first off, leading off for the Twins, I got it's led off a lot in the past couple of years, Byron Buxton. This guy hopefully is just going to continue putting bat to ball. Had a great average last year, and there's always the chance he hits a leadoff home run for you, just like he did all of last year. But Byron Buxton, the righty to start it off, speed. If you can get him on, we got some hitters upcoming that could put him home. So, and then second, all right, batting second at shortstop, Brooks Lee. And the reason, I guess, yeah, I did just say to Brooks that you need to have a bounce back. Well, not even a bounce back. You just need to improve on the hitting side. You need to get both sides really going here, because there's not one side that he's really better on in any case. And I think there's a car in my parking lot going off. Either way, Brooks Lee, I got to see the improvement, but I still do have you at second, basically just because you're a switch hitter. You're going to be able to get to any starting pitcher, not get to them, but you'll be able to have your own way with someone at the very start of the game. You're going to get more at bats this way. It's going to be the way to get you out of your shell. And then number 3, third hitter here. Again, this is untraditional where I'm going. A lot of guys would put a power hitter here, but the Twins, they lack like a bunch of power hitters. In 2019, this was Nelson Cruz. This was on the Yankees. This is Aaron Judge's spot. Like, this is Shohei Ohtani's spot. It's like, this is the power hitter spot, really. But for the Twins, other than Wallner and like Josh Bell, they don't really have that big power hitter. And I like Buxton leading off. So here, second baseman Luke Keeschall is going to be batting third. That, if you can get Buxton or Brooks Lee on, Keeschall is undoubtedly going to hit the ball into the field. And if you have Buxton on, Buck's going to advance a base probably no matter what, unless it's a very weird variable situation there. But Keeschall's going to put bat to ball. And then this is where I kind of clean up. This is where I bring the power, because Matt Wallner is going to be batting fourth. All right. Matt Wallner, right fielder again. The home run capabilities are there. He just needs to hit the ball, really, because again, every ball that he hits comes 110 miles per hour off the bat. Wallner is fourth. I already said Brooks. Sorry. Royce Lewis is fifth. Okay. Got to have the health standpoint again. But Royce, I think the fifth spot is genuinely perfect, honestly, for Royce right now. Prove it again. Hopefully Royce can get back up to that like 3-hole hitter. But either way, Royce at the 5 right now at third base. And then DH, Trevor Larnach. So here you go, Wallner lefty, Royce righty, Larnach lefty, kind of going back and forth. But Larnach, he'll hit you a few home runs, but he can't hit a breaking ball, so that's why he keeps sliding down these orders. If Larnach is batting high in the order, that's not a situation I want to be in. I've lost really all my faith in Larnach. He can't play defense. Larnach, 6th spot is perfect, in my opinion. So that's the lefty for Larnach, and then we go righty, catcher Ryan Jeffers. Jeffers could really slide into anywhere in this lineup. He can hit homers. He can hit for contact. Jeffers also, he strikes out a little bit, but I think if I were to look, I'd find that Jeffers doesn't strike out as the ordinary average catcher in the MLB, so that's always good. Either way, 7, there's a lot of talented hitters above him and guys with a lot of upside here. So that's the reason why Jeffers is at 7. So number 8, Josh Bell, switch hitting first baseman. I think this is a great spot for him too. He's going to hit you 20 home runs in a season. So we're going to get more home runs than we had last year. I'll tell you guys that. And then at your 9, cleaning up the lineup here, left fielder Austin Martin, which I'm excited about this because Austin, he's going to hit for average, not hit for homers, but Austin is also a huge steal candidate. Because if Austin can get on, you go up to the top of the order there, and Byron Buxton is up next, Brooks Lee, and then Luke Keeschall. You have a lot of speed. Brooks Lee, not really, but Buxton, Keeschall, Martin, a lot of speed in a 4-batter stretch there. So if you can get the ball in the outfield, you'll score runs in that way. And Austin Martin, he puts the bat to ball most of the time. So I'm excited to see Austin Martin play this year. I'm kind of feeling like this is kind of the breakout year for Austin. He has a chance to really solidify himself, and I'm excited to watch it. So then again, let me go through it quick. Buxton, Lee, Keeschall, Wallner, Royce, Larnach, Jeffers, Bell, and Martin. There is your opening day lineup. That is not that bad, people. Not that bad. Again, I would trade for another bat for the bench or maybe another big bat. Trade a depth starter for someone. But then the bench, you have Caratini, Clemens, Wagaman, and Rodin for the bench. Rodin obviously being the outfielder, backup catcher Caratini. Clemens can also play the outfield, so that's why you have him on the team. And then Wagaman, third base, first base, kind of mixed there. So either way, that is your opening day lineup, your 26-man roster predictions there. We're going to do another one halfway through spring training, but I'm getting excited, people. Spring training's almost here. Players are almost reporting in about a week or two. It's almost that time. We get to watch baseball soon. We get to hear soothing Corey Probus's voice, which I love Corey Probus. I don't know if everyone does, but I love him. So either way, people, that was a lot of fun. We'll have a couple more episodes of that. But everyone, for Twin City Sports Talk, go follow the YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, and Spotify. Have a great weekend, everyone. Have fun watching the Super Bowl. We'll have our predictions up tomorrow morning. But for Twin City Sports Talk, for Bruce, I will see you tomorrow.